Sweetie, I know there's been a quote on your mind lately that you've been thinking about. You want to share that?
Yeah, a few times now I've heard this quote that most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a year, and yet they under underestimate what they can accomplish in 10 years. And so I want to put some meat on those bones. And when I look back in my life, um, being a multiple business owner, there's been times in my journey that I didn't think that I was getting ahead. But then when I look back, 2 or 3 years from that point, I can see that I've moved ahead. And so, I want to encourage, especially young people today, that you might have come out of school or post-secondary education and maybe not been able to land the perfect career or the career in the area of expertise that you went to school for. And I want to encourage you to set that goal, set that intention, and set that vision. And if you need help to achieve that, by all means, reach out to me or Tammy. That's our passion. Our passion is to help the young people achieve their dreams and their goals. And we have an excellent program called Healthy Mind and Body, and enables us to set those goals and intentions, and on a daily process over the next 60 days, to break down those paradigms that are really stopping us. And it's our past history and the things that we've learned, in our lifetime up to this point that conditions who we are. And sometimes we have paradigms that don't serve us, or maybe they do serve us, but they're not serving us in the way that we'd like them to. And so, with some help, we can break through those paradigms and live into the everything that we have available for us in our lifestyle. So I encourage you, reach out, make contacts with us, and let's help you to move ahead today.
So, do you have you always wanted to be a business owner? Have you always wanted to be in, the healthcare industry? Or, when you talk about setting a vision, what does that mean? Does somebody, in their early 20s or in their 30s, do they have to know, how they want to go about achieving what it is that they want to achieve in life?
You know what? I don't think I always had that clarity in my life. And I've had multiple different careers. And, I got through kind of stages, right? I was an employee. And then by the time I got to age 27, I really had this vision that I wanted to create something bigger than what I am and bigger than what the job that I was doing was. And so entrepreneurship for me was that goal and dream. And so it took me 3 years, from age 27 to age 30 to become an entrepreneur. And now coming through the last 20 years being an entrepreneur of 4 businesses for myself and one for you, Tammy, I have a different perspective on it. And when I was 30, I took that leap forward and became an entrepreneur. And now, at age 48, I made a decision to change direction again and actually get away from the automotive and go back into a health industry with Tammy. And my reasons were really clear. We know more and more people today that are suffering in their health. The stat in Canada is 72% of Canadians are going to spend the last 10 years of their life under medical treatment or in and out of a hospital. And I had said to Tammy, when we heard that, I said, listen, if I'm one of the 72%, shoot me and enjoy the money. Because it's one thing to spend the last 1 year life under medical treatment, but to spend 10 years, I'm sorry, that's not quality living, and I am not up for that. And so, what set me on this path to go to health and wellness was I looked at it and I said, how can I make the biggest impact in today's society, in today's world, and to the people that we know and care about? And, yes, in my automotive businesses, it's one thing for me to be able to fix your vehicle and make sure your vehicle's safe and the brakes work. But when I can help somebody repair their health or give them back the energy that they haven't had in years, and to really improve their quality of living, that's really making a difference today. And so almost 4 years ago, I spent 9 months researching companies. And because of Tammy's background and myself being a business owner, I get opportunities come across my desk all the time. And yet, I wanted to be really specific and really make sure that I was linking arms with the best possible company out there. And I know, Tammy, you've said numerous times, there are so many good health and wellness companies out there. But what I found in my 9 months of research was there are a lot of great company, or there's a lot of good companies out there as far as products, but there's only a handful of exceptional companies out there. And so that was kind of why I chose the health and wellness, away from my automotive and away from real estate, to mentor young people at today, to give them a chance to have a lifestyle that you and I experience without taking that 30 years to get there.
So how does this relate to that quote that's really grabbed a hold of you lately? Most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a year and underestimate what they can accomplish or achieve in 10 years. Can you bring it back around to that?
Yeah, so I heard also another quote that said, there's like 90% of the people that get into a networking business quit within the first 14 months, because they don't see the money. They don't see the return on their investment, the return on their time. And so when I hear that quote about most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a year, and underestimate what they can accomplish in 10 years, it gets back to that. And so what I see is that, in a year you're learning new skills. This is a new industry, it's a new career, it's a new vocation for people. And so that doesn't happen overnight. Yes, there's people that learn it faster than others, and that just means that they have learned skills in their lifetime, that are applicable to building their networking business. And if you haven't learned those skills already, that's okay. I didn't know all those skills before I started either. And even being a business owner, people think, well, it must have been easy for you because you're a business owner. Well, I can tell you, it wasn't easy for me. There was a lot of skills that I had learned that didn't serve me as well in my networking business. And so when I hear that quote saying that, we overestimate what we can accomplish in a year, I really do agree with that. But if you stick with it, stick with the training, stick with your mentor, and you will find that you will move ahead. And by the time, those years 2, 3, and 4 come around, you have grasped the skills. Not only that, but you've built residual income. And I've been an advocate of residual income going back now, probably over 16 years. I've had multiple streams of income, and residual has been always a major component of it. And it goes back to years ago reading a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And today, he has a book called Business for the 21st Century. And in that book, he says that if he had to choose a business model today, he would choose network marketing over any business model. Now, you got to understand, Robert Kiyosaki, I believe, has owned over 40 corporations and is very big into real estate. The man is worth millions of dollars. And so when I heard that in 2011, I went, what? Robert Kiyosaki is telling somebody to do network marketing over any business model? I'm a traditional business owner, and I've had a lot of success, and very blessed in our lives to experience the lifestyle that we have. And so when I hear somebody like Robert Kiyosaki endorsing that type of industry, it made me sit back and say, what am I missing? What is it that I don't see that he sees? And so that was what started me on my journey in investigating networking, and why I spent the 9 months researching companies. And then, listening to guys like Tony Robbins, Paul Zane Pilsner, he's an American economist, Tony Robbins, Eric Worre, all of these guys are saying that network marketing really is the best vehicle. And the one thing that Robert Kiyosaki said was that why he likes network marketing is it gives the average person the opportunity to have a lifestyle that 5% of the world have without going in debt to do it. And I can tell you from a business standpoint, our traditional businesses have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you have all that money sitting at risk, right? You never know what the economy is going to do year to year, decade to decade. And for myself, I've gone through 3 of them, and definitely this one in 2008, 2009 was the hardest I've ever gone through. And I said to Tammy, I would never, I don't care what the business opportunity it is that I come across, I would never go back into another traditional business as long as I live. Network marketing excites me. It excites the people that we meet, And it gives me hope that the young people today, in an economy that is not easy to get ahead, that they can get ahead and exceed well past even what Tammy and I have. And that is what I'm really looking forward to linking arms with them about.
You know, Neil, you mentioned as you were talking about the importance of having a mentor. Did you have a mentor, you know, before you became a business owner or early into owning a business?
You know, great question. To be honest with you, I didn't. I had two people that spoke something very directly into my life that I never forgot. And it wasn't that they were mentors, but they said that one thing. And one of them was my grade 12 auto teacher. And the last day of school, as we were walking out of the classroom, he said to me, he goes, Neil, promise me that you will not go and work for somebody for the rest of your life and make somebody else rich. And that stuck in my head. The second thing was a guy I met who owned an automotive parts store. And he said, you know, Neil, I could partner with you and we could become 50-50 owners in a parts store. And he said, the problem is that 10 years down the road, while you're the guy, you know, putting in the blood, sweat, and tears to grow that business, you're going to hate the fact that you're writing a check to me for 50% every year. And those two guys spoke, you know, a few things into my life that I went, wow. And then, you know, I started doing a lot of reading. You know, I started getting frustrated when I was around 25. Felt like I was kind of backed into a corner as far as a career, and felt like, you know, I'm never going to be able to get out of this position, right? I ended up working for Magna International, and it just wasn't the normal thing in our company to move people from lower levels and bring them up. They would generally bring new people in. And so I felt trapped. And I don't know if you feel that way in your job or career. And I was fortunate enough to be able at the time to start a small business and get financial backing from the bank. And when I say financial backing, it wasn't 100%. They matched what I put in. So I came up with 50% and they put up 50%. Now what's changed today in 2016 is that banks no longer hand out money for small business. Their idea is to give you an Avion Visa card. And, you know, so if there's somebody out there that doesn't want to be an employee for the rest of their life, or has a bit of an entrepreneurial, you know, mind or spirit in them, what do they do? What do they do to break out of being an employee today to becoming self-employed? And so, you know, getting back to why I like networking is it gives you that opportunity without having to go into debt, without investing your life savings. And you can start this while you're doing your present career or job. And as your income increases in your networking business, right, you'll get to a point where you decide, hey, do I want my plan B to now take over my plan A and move forward in my life into a more exciting role than I had as an employee?
So it sounds like you really want to encourage the young people to develop a vision and be flexible about how they achieve it.
Yeah. The vision has to come first, right? You got to sit down and really be honest with yourself and say, what do I want to accomplish in life? What do I want to be remembered for? What legacy do I want to leave? What is that lifestyle, right? You know, we live in a time where it's gratification now and not, you know, down the road, right? We want it all now, and I get it, right? But we need to think big picture. We need to think, what do I want my life to look like in 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40 years? You know, here I am at age 52, and a financial planner told Tammy and I a few months ago that realistically, we could retire today. And you know, and I never think about retiring because I enjoy doing what I do. And even if we were to retire, I would still today do a network marketing business because I was blessed to have learnt these skills, and why wouldn't I share this with the other people around us? It would benefit their lives as well.